Hi there, Danna Alexander here from Prestige Dog Grooming School and the Everyday Pet Groomer. Today I'm going to show you guys some tips on a small Havanese teddy bear. So I'm going to show you how I do my feet, how I scissor my legs. You guys know that I talk a ton about clipper work and how your clipper work should bring you to an almost finished result before you start scissoring. That's how you speed up and are more efficient groomer. So I'm going to show you guys what level and stage we're at before scissoring here. So this is the level that I'm finished. Oh, don't go off my shears there. This is the level that I'm finished before, 2 seconds, my Havanese is wandering away. Okay, so our body's clipped. We're all dematted, brushed out, paw pads, groin done, properly bathed and prepped. I have scissored her face already, and I've scissored one leg on the other side, but I wanted to save some areas to show you guys a few tips. And so I'm just gonna get started here. Let me pass the camera over, and we're gonna start. So I've done a yellow or 5/8 on the body, faded into natural legs. This is the first time I've met this dog. She's been super cute so far. And I just wanted to show you guys a couple of my time-saving tips. I'm just gonna turn her in the other direction here quick. Show her that side. Take her out of the way. I like to hold the front leg forward. I'm gonna come in with my dark blue. So the rule of thumb is 2 lengths shorter than what you did on the body. I come under that front leg, and I'm gonna clip out the belly chest area, and just up into the groin. You don't wanna come into the side hair, just underneath. This is gonna save me time in scissoring, keeps it nice and clean, and the haircut lasts longer. But ultimately, it's the time and efficiency that attracts me. As a groomer, see how that tucks my underline up, and then it leaves me, again, very, very little scissoring to do. Coming in and just dusting. That's what I want. I'm also gonna do the same thing with my dark blue on the inside of the back leg. Coming in, I'm going right down to the foot. Remember, the inside of the back leg is an area that the owners are not going to notice. It's an annoying area to scissor, and that can save us some time. Okay, so I'm going to come in, and now that's saved me some scissoring in here. Just helps me set it up, so when I come in, I can very quickly scissor this and set my leg up for scissoring. Okay. Over her little rear, I'm just gonna comb up. Come with my curved shears. I'm gonna go side to side instead of directly on in case she lowers her tail while I'm scissoring. I'm just dusting that in. But it can be very quick and efficient if you've done all your clipper work really, really well. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys, before I start my leg scissoring, I always do my feet first. Your clipper work on your body sets up the leg at the top, and then your scissor work on the foot sets up the bottom, and then you're just going to marry these 2 worlds together with scissoring. So I'm going to come with my 40 blade on my 5-in-1, and I'm going to come just dust the top of the largest toe pad. I'm going to come in the V area underneath the largest toe pad, making sure that the edge of my clipper is only as far as I want clipped. You don't want to cut into the side hair, otherwise you can't do a nice teddy bear. Coming down where the nails are. She just let someone walk by, guys, sorry. Hold on there, little Havanese. And then my last but not least thing I like to do is when I'm doing a nice little teddy bear foot and I want to bevel it nicely, I'm combing everything towards myself. And then I'm just going to lightly dust off from the toe pads. Very lightly, including on the top. This is going to set my foot up for scissoring, which I'll show you right away. So we've done that on this foot here already. So I've done that dusting with the 40, and you can see here, my comb doesn't touch anything underneath. That set my entire foot up for scissoring, which is really, really awesome. So now I'm gonna comb everything forward. I'm gonna add a little bit of static spray. Fine mist, this dog's a little bit staticky and has very fine hair. I'm combing everything forward. Okay, my first cut is going to be with my curved shears, right to the nails, but my shears curved under, not straight up and down. Do you guys see the difference? Curved under. And a straight cut across, right across. I can just feel the nails under my shear. Okay, my next cut is going to be straight this way, again, curved under. Not straight up and down, curved under. Remember, we've already taken out the whole underneath area when we did the paw pads. Combing out. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, curved under. Okay, so what I've done is made the foot very square, flat, 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 okay? Now all you need to do is gently take the corners off. And this ends up with a nice round foot every single time without it ending up pointy. And then I'm just gonna lightly fluff up the top. And just very lightly dust. Remember, do not over scissor. This is a light dusting and the movement is in the wrist, okay? Now the last step is that you need to put that foot back down and re-look at it with weight on it. See, with weight on it, we can see that there's little areas where we just want to adjust a little bit. If you notice from the back, we have a very steep angle here. Nothing touches the ground. This is what set up our leg now. So we have our clipper work, our foot done, and now we can scissor this leg to match it. Here, okay. So I'm gonna comb my front of my leg out. My first steps are gonna be to scissor my profile. This is the profile from this view. So I'm gonna comb out, almost like there's a part in the middle of the leg. Comb that way and this way. Light spritz. With this very fine hair on a Havanese, that little bit of moisture droplets are gonna hold that hair in place for you so you can come in and scissor. Coming in, and all I'm doing is following the outline, almost like cutting out a picture. Okay, and then if you want to come in with your thinning shears and just lightly blend out that line. You're okay, little girl. You're okay. Okay. What you do to the front, we're now going to do to the back. This time I'm going to use my curved shears because it goes naturally around the curve of her body. Now because we clipped out the inside of the back legs, this process is a lot easier. I don't have a ton of hair here to scissor. Okay, so I've got that profile set in. I'm going to make sure I get just in this little area here. I'll tuck up. Make sure that's tight. So now I've got my bottom area. I like to look at the bottom area from a rear view. So I'm just going to set her up, guys. So you see from a rear view, when I comb it out, we can see what doesn't match from hip to floor. So I'm just going to come in with my straight shears and dust it off. See, scissoring should not be complicated. It should be extremely simple and step by step. All the prep work and all of your clipper work should set you up for success. Okay. And now we do have these little cowlicks on the inside, so I'm going to work with the cowlick by combing it out, and that way I can tell it needs to be scissored. The back hawk area I'm going to comb out. Because we already clippered with that 40 blade, you can see my comb goes right underneath, and I'm just going to lightly round it off. So I'm setting my tips of my shears to where that 40 blade already cut. Now my inside hawk area, comb out. And I'm just going to round that out. This should be how you're able to predict a time limit on your dog for grooming, so you can tell how long it's going to take you to finish a groom. And that's how you get a perfect leg, perfect foot every time. And you always need to double check once you put the weight back on that everything matches. I can tell I need to take off a little bit more here. Just do your final little adjustments. But see how scissoring should be very minor. It should just be polishing what's already there. So you create what's already there by prep work. See, I want to follow that line through. And you're just following lines. Okay? So now she's got a really nice outline and profile on that leg. See that? Okay, I'm going to show you guys the front leg. So same thing. I've done the paw pad the exact same way here. Just going to move her back over here. And comb out her leg. And now, even though I've done that with my 40 blade on the front paw, I like to do a little extra with my shears. I'm going to look from the back view. So I'll let you guys come around here. And I'm just going to make sure everything's level with away from her paw pads. That's how you set up the perfect front foot. Okay? All the hair should be clear. And when I put that foot down, you guys guessed it, my comb does not touch anything. Okay? That's how you need to start every single foot. This is your first step. See how we already can really see where we need to scissor? That's because all of this is clear. That's step number 1 to every foot, is making sure this is clear. Okay? Now what I'm gonna do is turn her front ways, turn her towards me. And now you guys can see she has bowed legs. Her leg actually comes in this way and then straights out this way, okay? So we do need to be conscious of that when we're scissoring her, so we can try and compensate for it as best we can. She also had mats all in this area and was not tolerable to them being taken out, so there's been shaved out in there. Typical pet grooming. Typical everyday pet grooming. So we need to come in. I'm gonna give her a light spritz again. She's got that very soft, fine, staticky hair. And I'm gonna hold the leg as if it's straight forward. And now same thing, we're gonna take our shears and do our first cut right at the nails, but angled under. Not straight up and down, angled under. And I'm thinking in my head a square shape. Okay, my first cut, see, very straight. Now my second cut is my tips are just gonna dust into the longer hair. And again, angled under. See how we have a very square looking foot? Comb out. And then take off your corners very lightly. This is how you're gonna prevent ending up with a pointed foot. And I know girls and guys sometimes struggle with that. I do too. Okay, so that's how you end up with a nice round foot without that pointed problem. Combing out. She's got a mat in the toes here. I've gotten her to the point this dog was super unhappy with combing out. So in this case, since she's being so well behaved now, I'm not gonna push her past her point by dematting that. I'm just gonna take that little mat out with my thinning shears and then come back in. Fluff your foot up and use the curve of your shear. The curved shears are curved for a reason. So don't come in and remake the foot. Just use the curve. You can't lay down right now. Just let me finish your foot. Fluff up. And all in the wrist movement, decide where you're gonna cut. Make sure the tips of your shears are not digging in somewhere. Use the curve and then it's all in the wrist movement. Nice and slow and steady. Last step, you need to set that foot down and take a look at it with weight on it. Okay, it's looking good. I'm gonna come in and just touch it up a bit. I'm pretty happy with it. She hasn't had her nails done, so when they're done, I think that's gonna look pretty awesome. Another spritz. Now what I like to do is I like to turn her again. And I like to do the profile of my legs first. So I like to do this view and that view first. And I'll show you why when we get to the inside of the front leg. Okay, so combing those two views out again, pretending there's a part down the center of the leg, forward, forward the other way. I'm gonna come in with my straight shear. I'm taking right from the elbow, straight down. I'm just coming around and around. Now I'm gonna follow through the bottom with the angle I've already created when I took that 40 in the paw pad. Resting up. Shaping. Now I'm just following the curve of the shoulder and down into the front leg. It's really simple. I'm just focusing on the profile right now. Okay? once I've got that profile set, I'm going to turn her back front again. And now I'm looking at her profiles this way. That side and this side. It's almost like a 4-sided pillar, okay? Now I'm going to leave a bit of hair strategically here. I'm going to take quite a bit off here, but I'm going to leave quite a bit in this area to help it look like the leg is straighter. So see how we need to take this quite a bit shorter, but barely touch this to get a straight looking leg. So I'm going to come in from my inside first, comb all this out. Now because I've already scissored the back side, under here I can see where I'm scissoring to. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's where I've scissored. So I can see where I need to scissor to. I'm lining my shears up. Her leg is actually twisting this way. You can see her foot is coming this way, but I want to straighten this leg out so I can come in and see where that needs to happen. Okay? I'm slightly tipping in where that shaved area is. Now all I'm doing is wrapping to where I already scissored previously. So see why you need to scissor that back profile first. I'm getting her armpit, chest area while I'm in there. It's okay. Shake it out. Shake and comb. Remember, combing is absolutely vital to proper scissoring. We could probably call for her use stuff in 10 minutes.
Yep.
That's great. Now just keep combing. I repeat at least 3 times, especially these big thick areas. Oh no, it's okay. Just get distracted. And now come in the part in the middle of your leg and pull sideways. See how you're going to get more hair that needs to be blended in. And I'm just following my same line. Just slightly blending in. Down. You need to check your work with it down. But can you see how we've straightened that leg out quite a bit? Now I can come in and fine tune. I can see that her foot needs to be a bit smaller on the inside area here. Setting it down. You might see things on your other finished legs you want to do from different angles. So I'm coming in and fixing that one here. And now I want to touch up the outside. And this, remember, to keep this leg looking a little bit more straight, we need to leave more hair on the outside. So I'm just barely going to dust that. So that is my little tips for feet and legs on this kind of very fine, soft Havanese hair. You can see over here, if I find little things I want to touch up. I want to touch up right here. And that it can be quick and easy. Scissoring can be quick and easy. You just gotta know exactly what you're looking for. So always think about your profiles. I like to think of that shape. I'm just cutting that shape out and making it a little sharper. But the key is always in your prep work and your clipper work. Okay? So I'm Danna Alexander with Prestige Dog Grooming School in the Everyday Pet Groomer. I hope some of those tips were helpful for dealing with this very soft, fine coat. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Say bye to little beautiful girl. Baby girl, such a cute little puppy.